I'm 16 years old. I just got back home from basketball practice. I remember getting two big assignments. I had a 2-page essay I had to write for my English assignment, and I had 50 math problems that I had to solve, and I literally had to hand those in the next day. And I remember sitting on my desk before I had to do this work. I had my books in front of me, and I was just sitting there looking at my book. 10 minutes go by, 30 minutes goes by, 1 hour goes by. Let me watch a bit of YouTube. Watch YouTube for an hour. Yeah, you know what? Let me go outside, do some push-ups first. It's good to exercise, even though I already did my basketball practice. Okay, I go outside, do some exercise, come back. I sit on my desk again. I still don't want to do the work. I'm still just looking at my books. There's that TV show that's about to come on, which I usually watch on Thursdays. Okay, let me go watch that instead. I come back. My books are still there. Nothing has been written. I haven't even put pen to paper yet. I'm still just looking at my books like a fucking idiot. I know that I'm supposed to do this work. I know that this is very important because at the time when I was in high school, like the homeworks that you did actually had a big effect on your grades. So you had to make sure you did well on your homeworks every single time. But these were like very big assignments, and I knew these assignments were going to have a very big effect on my grade, and I knew how important it was. But I just kept sitting there looking at my books. After I procrastinated for about 3 hours, I still hadn't even put pen to paper. I hadn't even written anything, even though this was very important work. I was just sitting there looking at my books. Then my brother came to me and was like, okay, there's this new video game that just came out. Do you want to play a few rounds, bro? Okay. I was like, yeah, fine, sure. I mean, I'll do the work later, right? It's already 10 p.m. at this point. I'm supposed to be in bed because I have to get up for school at 6. I play the games with my brother. It's now 12 a.m. And by that point, of course, I'm too tired to even do the work, so I just went straight to bed. The moment I woke up that morning, I was just hit to the realization of the absolute horror I was in. I just realized I didn't even complete my assignments. Just like that. I literally came home at 5 p.m. and I had more than 6 hours to complete this work. But I literally did none of it. Because I just kept procrastinating. I didn't even do any work for that long. And when I woke up, I literally, before I had to go to school, because I wake up at 6, I shower, I brush my teeth, I do all of that shit. Then I usually leave. I left the house around 7, they got to school by 7:30. I literally rushed through these 2 assignments in like 30 minutes. Like the worst work I've ever done in my life. Like it was so shit. I just needed to put something on pen and paper. Guess what happened? A week later, when I got my results for these assignments, I got zeros for both of them. I literally got a note in my work assignments, like the teacher literally wrote, "Come see me," because I knew I was in shit, because I just did absolute bollocks. Because I think the teachers knew that I didn't even put any kind of effort in this assignment, so I literally got zeros for those. And yeah, I think I got a warning, so it just shows that the amount of work that you put in for your assignments or whatever it is very important. And this is the problem that us as students have a very big problem with, and that is procrastination. I think the main problem is we just don't have that discipline in our minds inbuilt just to do the work as soon as we get it, because most of the time, especially if you're a university student like myself now, whether first, second, third year, fourth year, you literally get an assignment and you get like a week, 2 weeks, or even a month to do it. I'm telling you right now, bro, 90% of the time you're the one that usually does the assignment when you're left with like 3 days or 2 or 1 day. You literally do it the night before. Like, why do we do that? Why do we procrastinate on the work that we know is very important, that we know we should do? We know we should do this work. We know that it has a big effect on our grades. That's the problem. We're facing this problem of procrastination. It's laziness. It's sloth. This is not good for students. We are young people. We are young men and women. We're not supposed to be procrastinating our work to just stimulate ourselves in just instant gratification, because the problem is we know the work is hard. So when we sit down and we actually try to do the work, our brains just say, oh, you know what, we'll do this later, because you know it's going to take a lot of your brain power and mental capacity. So when you're already used to gratifying yourself too much, watching social media all the time, playing video games all the time, it's a problem. You're not going to be able to sit down and do work. You're not going to be able to do that because your mind is just always trained to do what is easy. We have to train our minds to like doing the hard work, because that's the only way we're going to defeat this procrastination. This is the main way we're going to defeat this, because procrastination will always be at your detriment. You think God put us on this earth to be sloths, to be lazy? That's not the reason why God put us on this earth. God put us on this earth to fulfill our missions, to do what we're supposed to do. If we're given a task, we're supposed to do it as soon as possible. If we're given a task, we're supposed to be doing it at the best of our abilities at all times. But what the fuck are you doing when you get your assignment or whatever work you have to do and you leave it until the last minute? You're not supposed to be doing that. And this is something I suffered with a lot ever since I was a kid, man. I just never liked doing the hard work. And just to say that the next time you think about procrastinating about doing your work, think about your future self, because every decision you make now, your future self is going to be affected in full force. So you get your work, you have a task that you want to do, you want to go to the gym today, you want to procrastinate on that. You have your assignment to do, you want to procrastinate on that. You want to start your business, you want to procrastinate on that. Think about how your future self will be affected on that. Whenever you procrastinate something, any kind of task, your future self thinks you're an asshole. Your future self literally thinks you're an asshole, because your future self would have benefited from that task, which you know is hard. Your future self would have benefited tenfold if you did that task you had to do with the greatest ability you had. You have to stop procrastinating, because the procrastination will always detriment your future self. Think about everyone who is putting your trust in you. I was sent to university. My parents are not here. I'm literally alone. None of my family live with me. It's all up to me. You have to be accountable to yourself. You need accountability. For me, I never had accountability, but until I joined a community with like-minded young men about entrepreneurship, I ended up being more accountable, because you need that you need to be accountable so that you actually have the motivation to do that task, because you know that person that's keeping you accountable is going to motivate you. So you have to continue to do your work with some kind of accountability, whether there's someone you just text one of your friends, send a text message, let them know that, hey, I'm going to do this by this time. And if you don't, you feel guilty for not doing it, because they would have been disappointed in you. And you know that you told yourself you're going to complete this task. So procrastination has to stop, guys. Because you know that every time you procrastinate, your future self will hate you for it.